For many, the final round of the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series brings the prospect of change for 2008. Bronny Ingerson checked in with some of the drivers to see what lies ahead.
The 2007 Fujitsu Series is yet to be decided, but plans are already well underway for 2008. Who'll be back next year and who's heading to the main game?
Well, at the end of this year, the car's going back to Team Dynamic in Adelaide to be up-spec to VZ and hopefully draw a bit more speed out of it next year, and looking forward to coming back.
Well, obviously we'd like to move into the main series. It's difficult to get in there. There's not many spots available, but that's our aim, and we're working pretty hard at that at the moment. And yeah, we're probably 90% sure that we'll be there, so that's pretty exciting for myself.
Mark, you've been in this game a while. What are your plans for 2008?
Well, I'm standing aside, and we're just going to make a little bit of room for some younger drivers.
Who are you putting in the car?
Well, we haven't signed anyone yet, but we've got 3 or 4 guys we're talking to, so we're hoping to have something finalised by early next week.
And still a 3-car team?
No, we'll just run 2 cars because we're going to run a couple of Formula 4s as well.
What a sight. The Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit awaits the final race.
Yeah, spectacular view there. As you come down that front straight, you see the ocean, and if you look hard, you can almost see Tasmania.
Michael Caruso will start from pole position in the final race of the championship. He needs to win this one. We've done our maths. Tony D'Alberto needs to finish 7th or better to clinch the championship. He's going to start back from position 9 alongside Sam Walter in the second Greg Murphy car. Scott Loadsman, the Tinter Car Commodore, 12th in race 1. Its best result since the season opener on the streets of Adelaide. Shannon O'Brien, a good recovery to finish in the points in 15th. And Marcus Sukanovic back in 17th, had a drama in race 1. A stone knocked a kill switch on the windscreen, killed the engine. The car stopped, he had to restart it all, and he eventually got running again, but he's a long way back.
Now that's what you call bad luck, can you believe that? And obviously Grant Denyer way down the back on the after that clutch problem in the first race.
Michael Caruso, Kane Scott, the front row of the grid for the final race. It's round 7 of the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series at Phillip Island. Can Tony D'Alberto clinch the championship?
He's definitely not going to have this all his own way. There's a number of guys up there looking for a fantastic result at the end of the season. They don't really care about the championship. It's really only Caruso and D'Alberto that have got that on their mind at the moment, and these other guys, they just want the good result.
It's been 5 years since a Holden won the series. Grant Denyer and Ash Samadi taking up the final rows of the grid.
Oh, you can imagine the tension. These guys will be as nervous as anything at the moment. The championship's on the line. It's come down to the last race. This is exciting stuff.
The revs rise at Phillip Island's Grand Prix circuit. There will be a champion crowned at the end of 19 laps. But the question is, who will it be? Caruso to the left of screen, Kane Scott to the right of screen, and it's the Ford Rising Stars Falcon.
He's done it again.
The rest of the starts.
He's done it again. He's got away from the line cleanly. And as you can see, cars going down the dust, down the dirt, next to the wall. It's Grant Denyer trying to find his way through.
Oh, there's a touch. Luke Yulden, Dale Wood get together, and Yulden's out through the grass.
That's all it takes is the slightest touch at over 200 kilometres an hour through that corner. And look where you end up. Oh, no, he's going to end up with these cars if he's not careful.
Re-entering the circuit is so difficult. And he'll have a radiator that's full of grass as well.
And he's now way down the back of the field and all the work to do ahead of him.
Caruso, the leader at Honda Corner. Kane Scott in second. Webb is third. Then it's Dale Wood. D'Alberto, great start from Chris Pither. The Kangalotus Commodore's in there as well.
Well, both these guys would have a sigh of relief at the moment. They've managed to get through the first couple of corners. Now it's a matter of getting the head down and trying to push on. D'Alberto's moved up to 5th position, which is fantastic, from 9th on the grid. And he's obviously going to be pushing forward now to maximise that position, get as many points as he can.
I'm always interested by the psychology of this situation. Does he attack and play his regular game and try to get to the lead, or does he settle for what he's got?
Oh, look, I imagine you'd like to have Tiger Woods on the other end of the phone asking what it's like to be leading going down the 18th with only a one-shot lead. I mean, this is what it's all about. You've got to keep the head together, not make mistakes. Keep up, another one out in the dirt.
Oh, Dale Wood. Oh, Tony D'Alberto. Nearly went with him. Oh, they're all off at turn 1. Adam Sharp, Grant Denyer, Shannon O'Brien.
So obviously maybe someone's dragged some stuff onto the road there. For all those guys to be spearing off is quite bizarre. But that is at over 220 kilometres an hour as you enter that corner.
I'm not sure about just cuts. It was more like Jim's mowing.
Now that is, Grant's having a bad day, isn't he, really? Stalled the car and all. He's off and running.
What temperature doing, Jose? Is the car still drivable?
This is Jose Fernandez having one heck of a moment at turn 1.
Goodness, that's fast, isn't it?
He'll end up in Tasmania if he's not careful.
Straight across the top of the sand pit there. Hasn't really slowed him down.
Oh, he's in more drama too with Joel Spicella at Southern Loop.
There's cars going everywhere. You can tell it's the last race of the season. These guys are on it and they want the result.
It's not that long before the season starts in 2008. Of course, round one will be supporting the Clipsal 500. Oh, Jonathan Webb, his chances of finishing third in the championship are gone. From what we're hearing from pit lane, he's had an off as well and picked up some debris in the radiator, and it's cooked that car. But Grant Denyer in the pits. There's more cars in the pits than there are on the track.
It's one of the problems when you run off at the circuit at this time of the year. The grass is very dry and it quickly fills up your brake ducts. It fills up your radiator support area. So I noticed on the Fernandez car there, the brake ducts were actually on fire, and that's all the grass that's gone down in there, got near the brakes and it's caught fire. And that's where you can end up with a lot of troubles. Cars will end up in the pits.
Takes composting to whole new extremes.
It
really
does. It completely changes the whole thing. But yeah, if Grant can just get back on with the job, he can finish the season with not a DNF, hopefully.
Robert Jones in the Repco Commodore just slipping on by. Now here is Tony D'Alberto under some pressure from the Kiwi Chris Pither, who's going to slip up the inside here.
He's certainly learned his lesson from that first race, hasn't he? He's giving Chris Pither plenty of room there. He doesn't want to be taken out, doesn't want to be touched. He just wants to finish the race. He's in a good position at the moment, and although he is under a lot of pressure from these guys around, as I mentioned, they want a result this weekend.
Now, since Chris Pither got by, Damien White has put the Select TV Commodore right on the rear wing of the GMAC version on the run up through the hay shed. And I guess getting a rhythm here and getting a sure footing for D'Alberto. This is critical. He can't afford to drop another 2 spots.
Well, this is where it gets challenging. He really does need to get that championship out of his teeth. He's just moving over now, letting these guys through.
Oh, he's playing it very, very cautiously.
One of the problems is you get yourself in a position then where you have to finish in the position you are. So what I'd certainly prefer is to have a buffer. I'd like to get rid of that championship thought process and worry about getting on with the result. Just push hard. That car's fast. He should be able to do the job.
And that is the sister car from last year of Marcus Sukanovic. That was the Garth Tander car. D'Alberto's was the Rick Kelly car. So it's all Holdens here. Brett Hobson in the former Lee Holdsworth car is next in the queue. Jay Vernick in the GIO car slots in behind.
And D'Alberto's lost 2 positions in that lap, so clearly he's playing it pretty cool. He wants to make sure that he just gets those points he needs. He doesn't care how far in front at the end of the championship, provided he is in front. But, you know, obviously that car's quite fast, and if you can see...
Oh, Robert Jones into the side of Jose Fernandez, who managed to hang on to it all.
Jose having a bit of a rough race here, isn't he?
And kept going at Siberia.
I think that was the earlier incident that we saw before.
Joel Spicella was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Let's have another look at another angle. But it's not your day. It's not your day.
No, it definitely isn't.
So here is D'Alberto. Zukanovic, a little bit of a gap there. So it's looking okay. Lap 7 of 19. Michael Caruso is the race leader. Dale Wood here with Scott Loadsman at Honda Corner. The ex-Tasman Motorsport Commodore has got its fair share of bumps and scrapes from the weekend.
Well, certainly Caruso's doing his job out in front. He's done the fastest lap of the race. He's a couple of tenths ahead in front of everyone else. And Alberto's sitting still in 5th position. He's got the work to do in front of him because he needs that P7, higher than P7, and he'll take the championship. So he's just trying to keep his head nice and cool.
Mark McNally here under a bit of pressure from Shannon O'Brien, who we should point out is, in fact, a lap behind and not a factor in scoring points. Runs back in position 21. This is the car that Andrew Thompson raced in the first 5 rounds of the championship. This is a one-off start for Shannon this weekend, and generally he's been running one of your old cars, the ex-Larkham Motorsport car.
Yeah, it was interesting to see him racing over the last couple of seasons in the old girl, and he's done quite well. It was a good opportunity for him this weekend, but clearly it hasn't panned out the way he expected.
Adam Sharp having a tough weekend in one of 3 Howard Racing cars. Once upon a time, this was one of the better electrical Briggs cars before Triple Eight took over that team.
It's hard work for these guys. They've got to try and keep the momentum going after they've been off the circuit into the pits, that sort of thing. They're running around on their own race out with no one around them, still trying to do the lap times, but obviously they still just want to finish that season on a high.
He's been another of the drivers to have to pit in this race to get grass cleared from the front radiator. Here is a drama at turn 1, Darwood dropping off the road. He got the sign last time and very nearly got Damien Assailett this time.
Looks almost like that earlier lap, doesn't it, really? But it doesn't take a lot. All you need to do is put 2 wheels in the grass there and it just drags you off the racetrack. There's no grip on that brown stuff.
Grant Denyer driving this weekend for Matthew White's team.
Very frustrating for Grant. He's obviously had a few dramas during the course of the year. Car sounds good going top of the Loogie Heights there. To have that clutch problem and then run through the grass, it's just hasn't been a good weekend for him, unfortunately.
It's been a tough year for Grant. It's been a great year for Michael Caruso. He leads the way at Phillip Island. Kane Scott in second spot, and the Kiwis are charging. Chris Pether now sits in position 3, but most importantly of all, Tony D'Alberto sits in position 5. After the break, we'll run to the checkered flag. Can he hang on and take the crown? Back at Phillip Island in the closing stages of the 2007 Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series. There are 6 laps to go at the Grand Prix circuit. And Tony D'Alberto, sitting in 5th, has pretty much a rear gunner here in Marcus Sakanovic.
Yeah, it's very close, isn't it? There's those 2 positions behind. If those 2 cars get through, the championship could go all the way to Caruso. So he certainly hasn't put himself in a very good position here. But obviously with Marcus behind, he may help him out a little bit here and not create a problem.
Sakanovic doesn't look too attacking at this stage of the race, and let's not forget Holden has not won this series in 5 long years. Paul Dumbrell was the last man who drove a Commodore to take this crown in 2002, so I guess Sakanovic and Brett Hobson would be pretty unpopular Holden drivers if they stopped D'Alberto from winning the crown.
Oh, look, yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no doubt. It's important to both Ford and Holden to win either championship. And, you know, I mean, obviously to put themselves in a position where it's come down to, once again, the Ford versus Holden battle towards the end of the day. There's obviously a fair bit of prestige riding on this, and see if we can get it to happen.
Luke Gilden, another of the cars to have pitted to have grass removed. The gearbox change in between the races for him, but it's all looking good for Tony D'Alberto. And
oh, you're a brave man. There's still a few laps to go yet.
But I'm sure that Marcus Sakanovic, if he was going to make an attack, he would have done it by now. He's obviously thinking about his own year. It's been an up and down year for the Opus Prime Commodore.
Just watching Marcus in the car, it looks like he's just out on a Sunday drive, doesn't it? There's not a lot going on around this circuit, but the G-forces are quite high on the body. So when you're coming through this last corner onto the, down the front straight into turn 1, through Southern Loop here, the load on the body is consistent and is hard. And by the end of an hour race or so, it's a lot of hard work around this joint.
Here's Chris Pether, the Kangaloters Commodore. He's had a great weekend in race 1. He had a big hit from Brett Hobson. They've made some setup changes to this car between the races from a car that was understeering. It's got to be careful, though, not to compensate too much. You end up with a car that's understeering on the entry and pretty nasty oversteer on the exit. Here's Joel Spicella in drama at Siberia.
Once again, it's the rear of the car locks up going into the corner, so it's probably a situation where he hadn't changed the brake bias as the fuel load changes. The cars are that critical.
Oh, Damien White round the outside, and he's on the inside now for the next one. Good move.
Big move there, and he looks like he's put himself in a position where he can pull this one off. So, these guys obviously want to get on that podium. It's a big prestige thing to get to the end of the season and finish on a high. And they're battling quite hard for that position. They've both come up from where they started at the beginning of the race, and they want that 3rd position.
Well, just doing the maths there, Damien White, even if he finished 4th behind Chris Pether, was going to stand on the podium anyway. So he's just put a full stop on that one with 2 to go. Shannon O'Brien has had a tough weekend.
He's having a day to forget, I think.
Oh, it's been a nasty weekend. More time in the scenery than on the racetrack. But here's Damien White, sits in Position 3, Chris Pither. Position 4 and on target to finish 4th for the weekend.
The pressure's on. We're entering the final lap. I'm just looking at the lap times on the monitor. Delberto's dropped into the 1 minute 42s. He's come back to a 40. The pressure's on. I think he's starting to think about that championship. There's only a few corners to go.
The final lap at Phillip Island. Michael Caruso is leading the way. Here he is, the Ford Rising Stars Falcon. Has done everything right this weekend. Started from the second row of the grid, dominated race 1. Hasn't quite dominated race 2 by quite the same margin, but nevertheless, it's been a fantastic performance. He's off the final turn. The checkered flag is waiting. Michael Caruso, the lights are on, and he is home. He takes race 2. 2 wins from 2 starts at Phillip Island.
Excellent result for those guys. They've hard work this weekend, but it's the guy that's running around in 5th position that we all want to see come across that finish line now.
Caruso's 3rd round win of the season, the most of any driver in the 7 rounds, but Tony D'Alberto with 2 round wins. He's coming through this final lap. There's Damien White, he's home in 3rd. Pither is 4th, and the champ is Tony D'Alberto in 2007.
He's held it together. It's come down to those 2 positions at the end of the championship. What a great fight, all the way to the wire.
Smiles all round in pit lane. After the break, we'll run through the full results and have a word with our new Fujitsu Series champ. The job's done for Tony D'Alberto in 2007. He is the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series champion. Michael Caruso takes the race and he takes the round. He's 2nd for 2007. Kane Scott 2nd for the race and 2nd for the weekend. Damien White, a great fight back from him from Mount Panorama. He finishes on the podium. Damien Assailant, the rookie, rounding out the top 10.
You know, session 1, I was shaking in the car when I was doing the harness up, and as soon as I got out of pit lane, I was fine. And I need to say that the Team BOC crew, the entire crew from top to bottom, has been brilliant to me since the accident. So thank you, guys. To my own WPR racing team and the Select TV Commodore, it's been an up and down year, but we've got 3 podiums in a debut year, and we probably couldn't have written that in the book at the start of the year, so we're wrapped. It was a tough race there at the end, and that move on Pither will remain with me for a long time because it felt pretty special that late in the race. The tyres were gone. Brilliant team effort though.
But it's this man, Ford Rising Star driver Michael Caruso, whose consistent drive has given him the round win.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I mean, it's a great way to finish off the year, and it's unreal. I mean, the guys did a good job for me this year and gave me the best car this weekend so I could have a shot at it, but, you know, I'm still happy with the round win.
Let's take a look at the way they finished at the end of the championship in just 5 points between D'Alberto and Caruso. Kane Scott made it home to take 3rd for 2007 from Webb and Yulden, and a good drive from Tim Slade. Missed the last round, but still finished 9th for the year.
It's just a massive relief. We've had so much pressure on us coming into this round, and with the massive crash yesterday, I thought, bloody hell, you know, can we do it? But you know, the car was not too bad at the start of the race. It struggled a little bit at the end there, but we had enough just to hold on. So I'm really wrapped, and I feel about 10 kilos lighter, I think.
Of course, now you've claimed the championship. What next?
Hopefully a main series. You know, that's what we're aiming for, and you know, I hope I've proved myself enough in the development series, and I want to move up.
And moving up is what he looks like he's going to do. It all starts again. Round 1 of the V8 Supercar Championship Series. The Clipsal 500, it's always massive. February 21 to 24. So not much time to catch the breath in the off-season for the V8 Supercars. But Tony D'Alberto has finally done it. After 4.5 seasons, he is the champ of the Fujitsu Series. Thanks for your company. On behalf of Jason Bargwana, I'm Aaron Noonan. We'll see you in 2008.